Welcome to the CHGO Sky podcast, sponsored by PointsBet. Use promo code CHGO when you sign up to get 2 risk-free bets up to $2,000. How's everybody doing? It is Monday evening. I almost said afternoon. That's how the concept of time has completely messed with my head. It is July 11th. We are coming up on a huge week and a huge weekend for the WNBA. Plenty of stuff happened, but we will get into that in just a moment. In case you're wondering who I am, in case you're not wondering who I am, I'm going to tell you anyway. My name is Janice and Subria. I am the co-host of the show. With me, as always, is the wonderful Sabria Whitaker. How are you today, Sabria?
I'm good. Tired, but I'm good.
You may have heard that, we were both on our feet this past weekend covering all things All Star Game. Sabria, what is probably the biggest takeaway from this weekend that you want to share? What was the one thing that completely just got you riled up?
I don't know. I guess I would say I'm still thinking about Nneka and Syl's dunks.
That was going to be my answer. I think I was thinking about Nneka's just mainly because when I saw it, I honestly couldn't believe it.
Yeah.
But Syl's was also super cool too. I also just really loved Emma Mieseman's reaction to that dunk. Essentially, she just kind of stood there completely flabbergasted and amazed at the wonder that Sylvia Fowles is. But anyway, this past weekend, WNBA Live, three-point competition, skills competition. The Sky had a handful of participants. So Allie Quigley won her 4th and final three-point competition. So this photo that's Miles Ehrlich from Winsider. And I took the photo. He is wearing an Allie Quigley three-point invitational shirt. Very quickly asked Allie for the photo. She held up her award. I had no time to talk to Allie, just mainly because I was honestly kind of starstruck. But anyway, very cool stuff all around. Like I mentioned before, this was the 4th time in her career that Allie Quigley won the three-point contest. So as we all know, she played at DePaul and is also the first professional basketball player, male or female, to win more than 3 three-point contests in their career. So in the final round, Allie surpassed Ariel Atkins, who put up 21 points. Ryan Howard scored 14 points. And Allie took home the victory with a total of 30 points. So definitely really cool to see her in the history books. Just a really fantastic finish to, what is going to be her final three-point contest. So Allie before said that she wasn't not going to participate in the three-point contest anymore, but it seems as if she has obliged. So a lot of people were saying that maybe she's going to play just because, it's at the crib. So of course she's going to participate. So do you have any opinions on why Allie returned to the contest, even though she said that she was not going to do this anymore?
Pretty much what you said, although I'm pretty sure she probably assumed it was going to be at Wintrust like everybody else, which makes even more sense since that's where she played while at DePaul. But I mean, I don't really know. I'm not going to say she didn't have a choice, but I also think it's pretty clear that the league waits to see who's going to be an all-star before asking who's going to participate in other things. And since she is a member of the Sky, they knew she was going to be here. So I'm pretty sure she was probably going to do it anyway.
Yeah. We talked about this on a show before that Allie was asked to participate last year, mainly because the league knew that she was going to be there supporting her wife, Courtney Vandersloot. So I think we said that she probably was not too thrilled with that, just the fact that she was asked just because she just happened to be there.
I honestly don't think that they're catching on, because I saw a lot of Lexi Brown tweets with people asking her about it. And
oh yeah, because Lexi wanted to be in,
right? And the way she was tweeting, I was just like, but I don't like, respectfully, I don't know why you would have thought that, because LA and Chicago are so far. Like, maybe if, but at the same time, like, I thought they could have asked Kelsey Mitchell. I think a lot of people were talking about that, and like, she was just down the street. She could have rode with Alyssa. But I mean, if I'm Kelsey Mitchell and the league asks me, I'm gonna say no anyway, just because of the simple fact that I felt disrespected as not being an all-star. But yeah, LA is just way too far. I don't know why Lexi thought that they were gonna pay for her flight, but.
Is there anyone else besides Lexi that you think you probably should have at least been considered by the league?
No, I don't know. I don't really think of anybody else. Is there somebody that I'm missing?
No. I just wanted to know. Just wanted to know what you thought. But yeah, otherwise, really exciting weekend. I did miss the skills competition, though. The schedule overall for this entire weekend was really strange. I felt as if I know a couple of actually, it was Lexi who complained about this. But yeah, the game was way too early. It was pretty much noon, and the game was already over, at least noon LA time. Yeah, and everything for the most part seemed really kind of squished together. It ended all just way too quickly, in my opinion. And I know like scheduling is a common topic on this show, and how WNBA scheduling can be very inconvenient. So what were your thoughts on like the timing and the schedule of everything?
If it was done a little differently, I actually appreciated the skills competition, the 3-point contest being on Saturday, because if anybody pays attention to the way that they market it, no one from the league has ever called it WNBA All Star Weekend. It has always just been WNBA All Star, because typically it's happened on one day, and they probably also knew that people could not get into the 3-point contest, so they never even called it a weekend. So one, I guess we can't really be mad at that, because words mean things.
True.
But also, I mean, as it was broken today by Shakia, they did not sign the contract to put it here until April of this year, and Wintrust was not available, and that is why they ended up where they ended up in the McCormick place. And people play on Tuesday. So to my understanding, anyone that has an away game on Tuesday will be flying out today. If they haven't already, they flew out today straight to where their away game is. But I talked to Jordan Canada last night because I knew that they had practice today. So she said she was flying out like right after, and probably Nneka as well. So that took a lot of, time away from people who could have stayed to do other things later, but they knew like we have to make sure we have it early because they have to get out here because they have practice. So
yeah, that is some good perspective. Yeah. Just having to think from the player's perspective. Yeah, they all have just very, very tight, crunched schedules. But yeah, I do know that, as a fan, and also too, I kind of appreciated the earlier game, just mainly because it just left for me the entire day to kind of process everything that happened, and also to just kind of break down just the events of the game altogether, which we will get into in a little bit. But after the 3-point competition, I stuck around, so I was there with my friend Steven. He was kind of my emotional support buddy throughout the entire thing, just mainly because I had no idea that I would just have all this access to players on the court. And I also ran into Shakia right before this happened too, and she's like, yeah, just go ahead and go onto the court. It's totally fine. Like, just... and she's done this for me before too. So she's always constantly encouraging me and constantly just, helping me like assuage my anxiety. But I met Lee Yuru after the 3-point competition. So she and I got to chat a little bit. She was just really kind, really sweet. I asked her a couple of questions. There she is. In case you're wondering, she is indeed significantly taller than me. But in case you're thinking about us being a center point guard duo, I asked her some questions on how she's adjusting to Chicago, what she thinks about Chicago, and she told me that she loves the boats here. She also really enjoys the food so far. I didn't ask her to get into specifics because that conversation can go on forever, as we all know here. And she also just really loves hanging out with her teammates. I believe, she enjoys hanging out with Azurá Stevens in particular, which I thought was really nice. But otherwise, really cool to meet Lee Yuru. But that was probably my biggest takeaway from the weekend was, just not necessarily to watch some phenomenal athletes play ball, but also to kind of learn a little bit about where they're all coming from and some of the things they like to do when they're not on the court. All right. So besides that, anything from the weekend that you really enjoyed or that you saw that you might not have talked about yet?
No.
I thought it was cool, the Brittany Griner showing of solidarity from all the players at All Star Weekend coming out in her jersey. I thought it was appropriate for sure, and it was just it was definitely a cool moment.
Yeah, absolutely. And the second half, all of the players changed into Brittany Griner jerseys for the second half, which was pretty cool. I didn't look into it. I had no idea that they were doing it until I just saw all the jerseys on the court. But definitely a really excellent show of solidarity for Brittany Griner. All right, before we get into the game and break it down, so if you are enjoying this show, and I hope you are so far, the best way to support CHGO is to download the PointsBet app and use code CHGO when you sign up. And if you do that right now, you'll get 2 risk-free bets up to $2,000. But that's not it. If you make a $50 or more first-time deposit, you'll receive a free CHGO membership, and that unlocks all of our web content, and you'll get a free shirt from your choice from the CHGO locker. There is a super dope CHGO Sky shirt that I would highly suggest you get. That's $2,000 in free bets, a free CHGO membership, and a free t-shirt from the CHGO locker. And that is just when you make a $50 first-time deposit at PointsBet. And of course, if you have any questions, email us at pointsbet@allchgo.com, and we would be happy to help you out. So your home for live in-play betting just got better. See an edge in a game you're watching? Is your favorite team primed for a comeback? Don't just watch the game, bet along with it live. So more live betting, more live markets, faster live cash outs. Follow along with your bets the moment they hit and stay in the live action all game long. So download the PointsBet app right now and use promo code CHGO. So what are you waiting for? It is time to elevate your live betting game. So once the games start, just don't bet. Live your bet life with PointsBet. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem and wants help, call 1-800-GAMBLER for crisis counseling and referral services. All right, let's go ahead and talk about the game itself. So, this game was definitely fun. It was a fun game. Watching all the photos coming in, like everyone just seemed like they were having a good time. Everyone was laughing. Everyone was smiling. Probably my favorite shot of the day was the one where Ka was guarding Candace Parker. She's got the ball over her head, and they're just kind of like, it seems like they're gazing at one another, and like it just seems so incredibly just like it seems like a tender moment. But of course, like you and I know what's actually going on there. I just saw the two of them playing. They just seemed like they were having such an amazing time. They looked like they were having fun together. But otherwise, that was probably one of my favorite moments, favorite shots from the game. Is there any particular moments between any players on the court that you specifically liked?
No, I don't think so. Like, I can't really remember any other moments than that one. And I actually think I probably only noticed that one because I saw a picture of it on Twitter. People got really good pictures.
They did, yeah. Yeah, I think I saw the play on the court, but of course, just from my vantage point, I really couldn't see what was going on. But yeah, that picture really did a lot of the heavy lifting there.
I was driving home yesterday for a long time, so I didn't get to see a ton of the game, but I was almost shocked that Kelsey Plum scored 30 in the All-Star game. Like, that's a lot in the All-Star game when you're usually sharing the ball a lot and, not everyone's looking to score on every play. Like, I'm looking back at the NBA All-Star game. Like, I don't think the MVP has scored 30 points since 2007.
Wow.
Like, that's a lot of points in the All-Star game. I was impressed by that.
That absolutely is. So it's really great to point out that Jonquel Jones actually scored 29 points too. So she came very dangerously close to just also performing like Kelsey. They both performed fantastically, like everyone did. But when I was checking out, like, all right, so around the third quarter, I was like, who can possibly get MVP here? So I picked out, Kelsey Plum, Jonquel Jones, Sabrina Ionescu, Jewel Lloyd. I think at that point, everyone was putting up some pretty huge numbers, all very deserving of the MVP award. But yeah, I'm going to have to agree. I put out a poll on the CHGO Sky account, and everyone just seemed to also roll with Kelsey too. So do you also agree that Kelsey deserved the MVP award? Is there anyone else that you thought deserved it better?
I mean, I don't know, just because I also didn't really try to look that hard for it, but I know that while in the game, I couldn't tell you who had what, like, as far as stats wise. I don't know if it was up there. I really just don't know. So I don't even know. I still don't know how many points anybody scored actually. So I have no clue.
Yeah, the scorekeeping honestly was kind of weird because ESPN was broken. So I pretty much had no idea where to look. So for a minute, I was just manually calculating everything, and you know how well that goes. And so, I mean, they did have most stuff on the scoreboard, but of course, too, that all went away in the second half. So I was just kind of trying my best to pay attention on who did what. But thankfully, WNBA.com.
It probably went away because they came back out in Britney's jersey and they didn't know how to keep track of who did what.
Yeah, I did notice that. So bless his heart, and not in the passive-aggressive way. The Sky announcer was doing his best and just like trying to make sure that he could identify every single player that was on the floor. So there were some shots that weren't called, but I think.
You're talking about Greg?
Yeah,
I love Greg.
Yeah.
So not too much on Greg, but
no,
that's still very funny that they couldn't do that because they did not know who was who.
Yeah. This is no shade towards Greg at all.
Greg,
this is he did his best. He absolutely did his best. But even like me, I was just trying to like squint and see. All right, so like, wait, who did that shot? Yeah, and then you kind of are forced to rely on like your other faculties to kind of like be a detective and figure out. All right, so who just landed that shot? All right, so of course this is a Sky podcast, so you're probably wondering, how did Sky players do? So of course, amongst the Sky, your top scorer was Candace Parker, who finished with 15 points, 3 assists, 8 rebounds. Up next, Emma Miesemann, 8 points, 4 rebounds. Kalia Copper did really fantastic too, 8 points, 2 assists, 2 rebounds, and of course, who can't forget Sloot? Sloot got 8 points, 8 assists, 2 rebounds. Otherwise, it's really interesting to see Sky players playing against each other. And I think probably, I thought it was incredibly funny to see Emma and Ka. Ka was guarding Emma, and I honestly thought that was pretty funny. But probably the funnier moment was definitely Candace and Ka just kind of dancing on the floor there with one another. But yeah, it's not every day that you get to see your favorite teammates play against one another. But it also, too, it's really great to kind of see the chemistry that a lot of Sky players have with, players on other teams. So I think someone that, like, I especially loved watching throughout the entire game was Sylvia Fowles. Again, just one of my favorite moments in the game was, after Sylvia's just huge, just epic, great introduction. The entire arena just showed out for Syl. And I think, you mentioned it before, everyone's been talking about the dunk ever since. Everyone's just been, I can't believe she did that. She actually dunked. Like, oh my goodness. But I have
a problem with that, though. Like, I do feel like it should be noted, because I think they asked, when was the last time you dunked? And
I think she said 2008.
Yeah, 2008. That's when she came to Chicago. But I don't appreciate how I haven't seen anything about Nneka's. And I think we have a mindset in the W, like, as a whole, not me, but as a whole, that like you can't lift someone else's accomplishment up without taking it away from someone else's, or at least, you know, you can't have two people from, I don't know, let's say similar backgrounds shining at the same time, because I don't understand why I don't see anything about Nneka's. And they're both great for different reasons, because when I walked in that arena, I didn't even know Nneka could dunk. I immediately called Brittany and I was like, Brittany, Nneka just dunked. And she was like, you're lying. I'm like, no, she just dunked. Like, I watched it. And she didn't. She was like, I know she always talks about like she could get it up there, but I didn't know she was actually going to do it. I said, girl, me either. So I think we should talk about that more, because she's never in that conversation. Like, I just, like, again, no shade to Nneka, but I just truly did not expect her to do that when she did it, or ever at all. And so I want us to talk more about that, because I don't know if this is her first, but I know when we talk about dunks, we talk about Lisa Leslie, Candace Parker, Sylvia Fowles.
Yeah, absolutely.
Why are we not talking more about Nneka?
Yeah, I posted about it on the CHGO Sky Twitter account, and otherwise, yeah, you're absolutely right that other than that, there really wasn't a conversation going on about it. Yeah, I guess like, and this is not an explanation as to why there hasn't really been a conversation, but from what I saw, I just saw it very briefly, and I was like, yeah, that was a dunk. Nneka just dunked. Yeah. But I don't know if I don't know, everyone was just looking the other way when that happened. Like, I just don't know.
I don't know. But see, the thing is, though, like, the other part about it was the fact that she dunked it, but the ball came up and then bounced in, which to me makes it even more like, did you just see that? Because it wasn't her just like going right and putting it like her arm like through the basket. It was like,
yeah, I just saw the replay of it on ESPN. Yeah, she's all smiling. She's like, was that a dunk? Yeah, that definitely was a dunk. I see what you mean. She kind of reached up. The ball kind of like went into the basket. The rim kind of bounced a little bit.
And that's how you know it was a dunk, because it bounced. And I saw it happening in real time, and I was excited for her. But I don't know. I guess maybe people were too busy talking about the trophy or the game ball situation. Maybe it's like fifth on the list of things to talk about, and we just haven't gotten there yet. I don't know.
Right, this tweet from John W. Davis. LA Sparks interim head coach Fred Williams said that Nneka Ogwumike has always had the ability to play basketball above the rim. Coach Fred said that was definitely a dunk by Nneka Ogwumike. Well, there you go. There you have it. That was a dunk. It was a dunk. Oh, Joey said that Nneka posterized LeBron in Space Jam 2. That is right. That is right. I sat through that terrible movie.
Awful film. But she said afterwards, she said, I'm the first woman to ever dunk on LeBron. Very impressive.
I think I might have had this conversation. I don't know if I was talking to you about this or someone else, but I watched Space Jam 2 not too long ago, and I think probably my favorite part was Nneka, honestly. I just thought it was cool that she just happened to be in the movie. And yeah, that dunk on LeBron was pretty cool. Yeah, she's like this like mutated spider person, and just is like tangling webs all around the court. But
DT's in it too.
Taurasi is in it too.
Yeah, she's a snake in the movie. And yeah, I guess no further commentary on that.
No, that was cute. I was like, oh, that's cute, because she has been Kobe approved to be a Mamba. So I thought that was actually an ode to that, and it was really cute.
Yeah, that's a good point. That's a very good point. Yeah, all the other tweets I'm seeing, are you counting that as a dunk for Nneka? I think a lot of people just seemed like, yeah, like that was indeed a dunk. A lot of people are just like, wait a minute, was that a dunk? But no, we officially rule that as a dunk. It looks like, yeah, Mark Schindler from, let's see. Where is he? Yeah.
Oh, Mark is actually a writer for WNBA.com.
Oh, yeah. So I met him over the weekend, too. And he also posted that Nneka Ogwumike is so effing good, man. Yes, I completely agree. She is.
She is. I did an interview with Buckets over the weekend. Actually, that's why one of these days, the weekend was so long, I believe it was Saturday, but we did one of the questions that the host Jordan asked me was about MVP, and I was like, I'm sure that it's not going to be in the conversation yet, just because the Sparks are at like 6. And my first answer was obviously Asia, but if I had to do like an honorable mention MVP, it would definitely be between Kelsey Mitchell and Nneka Ogwumike, because if you take Nneka out of the situation for the Sparks, they are probably 12. So I would love to see her get more love and respect, because she's really holding it down, and she has been holding it down since, we kind of took Candace. So
absolutely, and those are some huge shoes to fill. So yeah, props to Nneka for holding it down. Otherwise, some of the other interesting parts from the game. So Asia Wilson hacked Dearica Hamby's Twitter account.
Everybody hacked her Twitter account. I think Ryan was on there too, and I think somebody else tweeted something.
Did someone just like grab her phone and just pass it around the bench? Is that what happened?
Probably, because I think she asked. I think she was like a designated live tweeter.
Yeah.
And when she was in the game, I'm sure, like, what else would she say? She couldn't take it on the court with her, so she left it there, and they just kept probably like passing her phone down the bench.
Yeah, I think I saw the tweet about her leaving her child on the court.
Yeah, that was funny.
Yeah, if you have the chance, definitely check out Dearica's Twitter feed. It is some comedy gold. And oh my goodness, yeah. Just also too, just the banter between her and Asia, we're just pretty funny. And I mean, we've mentioned before that it just seems like those teammates on the Aces just really seem to enjoy each other. They seem to enjoy each other's company. They can joke around. They can just kind of be who they are without any repercussions. I mean, that's pretty cool. Mm-hmm. Right. So, some other cool things. So you mentioned the game ball situation earlier where, so Sue Bird was given the game ball after the game ended.
Quickly, how many points did Sue Bird have in that game?
0.
Right.
0 points to Sue Bird. However, Sue did give the game ball to Syl.
But okay, so that's one thing. Okay, so first of all, let's even rewind a little bit. I remember them highlighting her twice. Like the first time, I don't really remember why her name was said, and then the second time they mentioned her. I really don't remember why, but they mentioned about how like this is her last All Star game, yada yada yada, and then like a few minutes later, she I guess got subbed out, and they mentioned that she was exiting her last All Star game and instructed people to stand up and give her a round of applause. My immediate knee-jerk reaction was, and what about Syl? And I looked on the court and I didn't see Syl anymore. And then I saw a guy go to the PA table and say something. And there was like a long, awkward pause. Ooh. And then they said, and Sylvia Fowles. And it's just like, see, that's what we talking about. Because I don't care if it was like whether or not they anticipated that maybe, what was it? Was Becky Yes, so I don't know if Becky was supposed to call a second timeout. I don't even know if she came out of the game before Sue. I don't know. But it was clear that whatever time that was when that timeout was called or the substitution was made or whatever, they were not anticipating that moment to be shared by the both of them, and that really pissed me off. And so then after that, to add insult to injury when the game is over, to go out of your way to look and find Sue to give her the ball, who didn't have 0 points. I don't really appreciate like, okay, cute story, you gave her the ball, as you should, because you know you didn't have 0 points. But sometimes it shouldn't even give someone an opportunity, because all she does is, and it's not her fault, but all you're doing is creating another opportunity for another narrative to be created about how she's just this great human being who gave her charity to Sylvia by giving her the ball, when all anybody had to do was make sure you use ball A for the first half, use ball B for the second half, and they both get a game ball at the same time. Very simple, but it was clear that Sue was at the forefront of everyone's mind, and Sylvia is once again an afterthought, as if this wasn't the city that drafted her, but I digress.
That is a very good solution. Yeah, to have 2 game balls, that seems as if, a very, very easy thing that they could have come up with. Oh my goodness. But yeah, besides all of that, there was definitely some strong emotions regarding Sylvia Fowles' retirement. I believe Dearica tweeted that Tom Brady needs to have a word with Sylvia Fowles. Do you think that's going to be effective enough for her to come out of retirement?
No, I don't think so, because even if it, like, I wouldn't do it. And I love that Syl is such a great person and that she's not going to say anything, because I think maybe Friday someone asked her thoughts about how the league as a whole, whether that's the league or the teams or a combination of both, how she's felt about them giving her flowers. And she said, oh, they've done a good job or an okay job. I can't remember if it was good or okay, but that's unacceptable. And so if I'm Sylvia, not only am I definitely not coming back, like at this point, don't even call me for any of the, well, I guess the Retired Players Association. I love them, so I'm not gonna like punish them. But if I'm still, I'm like, don't even call me. Like, definitely the league, don't call me for anything else, because I'm not doing it, because you haven't made me feel valuable enough to want to come back. So I don't think it would help.
Yeah, I can definitely see where you're coming from there. So Candace Parker said this. Her new name is Sylvia Tom Brady Fowles because she can't retire after she dunks like that. Oh, Candace, so easy to say. But anyway, again, just in Sylvia's last All-Star game, just really fantastic career all around. And yeah, I don't, like, she also literally got her flowers too. She was given a nice bouquet mid-game. So yeah, definitely. Give your people their flowers, sometimes even literally. Literal flowers are nice too. Mm-hmm. All right, so I want to talk a little bit about the 4-point circles and the 4-point shots. I kept seeing everyone try to attempt a 4-point shot. So if you're unfamiliar with the new rules, 2 circles were added at the end of each court, 28 feet away from the basket, so 6 feet beyond the 3-point line. So if you were a player and you attempted a shot from that zone, you were awarded 4 points. So Jonquel Jones actually hit the first 4-point shot in All-Star history in the first quarter. So I believe it was Arike. Arike landed the second one, I believe. I think there were only 2 were landed throughout the entire game.
Sabrina was trying. I saw that.
She was. She tried several times. Right. Otherwise, I mean, I don't know if it's a little bit of a distraction or if it's fun, but what were your thoughts on the 4-point circles?
I mean, I think it's cool. I think it's definitely cool, but then it's like, well, now you have to go and our dunks gonna be 3 points then? Like, that
kind of opens up a window for all sorts of crazy rules to happen. So,
but I mean, it was fun though, and I think that's really to me all that matters. Like in an All-Star game, I'm not upset about it, because I want to see you do more things that you're never gonna attempt in a game, because if you attempt it, your coach is gonna like call you out and sit you down. You're not coming back in the game. So I'm all for however creative they want to get, as far as I'm concerned. We love chaos over here at WNBA Twitter. So
in case you're wondering, the final tally, it's 5 for 29, so 17.2% from the 4-point range. So that is how successful that was.
I was kind of surprised that it was just like a circle on the, like, it seemed difficult that you have to be literally in that exact spot rather than like another arc that's just further back, because
but I mean, but it seems more all-starry. It kind of reminds me of like the whatever competition the NBA did last year, or the last All-Star game with the rookies, because remember, they could not get that shot.
Right.
Who was that? Like that was fun. I like that.
Yeah, it's an interesting, like, Ionescu is like coming off a screen, but she has to make sure that she's navigating back to that exact spot on the court. So it's definitely interesting.
I mean, based on placement, the placement was where? Like, I know where you said, but like where on the...
Mm-hmm. Yeah, basically just like, mwah, mwah, and then here's the...
that's what I thought, because I know that they probably wouldn't put it on the deep left side, because if they did, Jules hitting that every time, and then Jules probably gonna get like 44 points easily. So I think they were also super strategic about where they put it to. And then somebody was like, no, don't put it over there because that's Jewel's spot. But I mean, people have spots like Jewel. Like if they put it over there, Jewel will absolutely make it. So maybe next year, if Sabrina's an All-Star again, I bet you she's going to practice if they stay the same place, and she's going to try and get one.
Some other fun rule changes here. So there was a 20-second shot clock. It also, as a result, there were hardly any shot clock violations. I don't think there were any, actually. Both teams had one in the second quarter, and that's it. So apparently that is meant to speed up the pace of play. It did. That game went by really, really, really fast. And the other rule, no free throws, as players were awarded the maximum available points for all shooting fouls, with the only exception being the final 2 minutes of the fourth quarter and all of overtime, which we didn't see. So, there were only a few shooting fouls called. It is an all-star game, after all. There was a lack of free throws, which definitely slowed down play. I think Ka even tweeted about how just no free throws means it's just straight cardio. You're just running. You're just kind of just blowing through steam. What were your thoughts on that?
I actually really didn't even notice because I didn't really feel like anybody was fast. And you know what? I'm not even mad at the league for that because respectfully, Skylar would have held that game up trying to get a foul. Candace would have held the game up trying to get a foul. Well, Diana wasn't there to do it, but if she was, she would have done it. And Alyssa Thomas, that's what it was. That's what it was. Because the three of them are definitely in my top 5 of all foul. Like, ref, I got a foul. So I appreciate that because I didn't really notice until the very end when Candace forced, I can't even remember who that was, but she forced, was it Enrique? She forced somebody into fouling her at the very end, and then that's when she got to go shoot free throws. But at that moment was the only time I noticed that they weren't giving them free throws.
I have to laugh for a minute because I just got a picture of Candace's I fouled face, her face.
Gosh.
Like seriously? What?
Exactly. They would have been over there arguing. Can you get teched up in the All-Star? Listen, I don't know if you can, but I'm sure they would have tried it. The way they argue fouls.
Diana Taurasi's ears perked up somewhere. It's huh? Did someone say my name? All right. Other than that, those were the rule changes. Just the entire event over the weekend, too. There was definitely lots of interesting fan reactions. So I pushed this one off to Court of Law. I'm not sure if you had a strong take on this one way or the other. But anyway, so how are we feeling about WNBA Live? So some of the feedback about the event said that it seemed rushed, thrown together, disrespectful towards longtime fans of the league. And then this bit that I saw tweeted. So apparently the commissioner, Kathy Engelbert, said that the Chance the Rapper concert was not live to the public or open to the public because of fears due to gun violence. And she mentioned that as a concern when planning fan festivities this weekend in general. So I know you mentioned earlier that essentially Wintrust was booked very late. All of this was definitely thrown together. So would you say that this is more of an oversight on the league, or are we just dealing with, the league trying to deal with a lot of moving parts and just trying to manage the situation as best they can?
I definitely think it was oversight because, first of all, McCormick is a convention center.
Yes.
So there's no way you're telling me that with proper planning, there was no way to have the event inside. To me, WNBA Live was a vibe, but it was a weird vibe because the first time I went, I was cold and I would try to find, it was good in the shade, and then I would have to go step in the sun to warm up a little bit and come back. And then the next day it was so hot and it was the complete opposite. But I mean, I think it was a good event. But like I said, if that's your concern, then had you just done it in advance, you wouldn't have had that concern. The concern is also very interesting, regardless of so I feel like someone asked me about this earlier, and I was like, I think you could look at this two ways. Obviously, people's first emotional reaction is this was disrespectful to Chicago, because it was definitely an interesting choice to say that. just because it's just like, well, if you're talking about it being Chicago, that's not true because we've had a lot of things over the summer where there haven't been any incidents.
Right. Yeah. Chance played like a Juneteenth show.
And it's like, and I'm not even trying to get into that whole thing of like labeling different artists, but I mean, I am from Chicago. I grew up around it. Like I was here watching Chance blow up the same way I experienced in real time Chief Keef and Dirk and all of them blow up. If Dirk can have a whole concert in a United Center and be fine, Kathy, you will be fine with Chance. It's like it's just Chance.
Yeah.
Like I don't think you really know his fan base because it's not that. Mm-hmm. But also, who did you get these people for? You got Big Lotto. Who did you want there? If you're just doing influencers, sponsors, and the kids because I know that the kids have wristbands.
Yeah.
Why would you do that? If I wish my kid would tell me they're going to a concert at, I don't even know how old these kids are, but just Lotto was a choice if you weren't going to allow other fans. And also it was funny because I was texting a coach who was here and she was like, yeah, we have wristbands for the concert, but the kids are tired. They don't want to go. They just went back to the hotel room and went to sleep. Or they had a curfew and they couldn't even go.
Right.
So
yeah.
I was just like, this was dumb if you weren't going to open it up to fans because your supposed intended audience doesn't make sense. But then if you're talking about maybe mass shootings is what I thought maybe she could have been talking about, but that didn't make sense because today someone pointed out when they had Vegas, it was right after the Vegas shooting and they had a whole concert. So it's just like, Kathy, get a better ghostwriter for your answers.
Yeah. Just not a good look overall. I mean, if anyone ever mentions Chicago and gun violence in the same sentence, like anyone who grew up here, like you know, especially if it's coming from someone who is not from Chicago, like you already know what they're trying to imply.
So the other thing about that was, did she not realize the taste was happening like right there?
Mm-hmm.
So it's just like, pick one. But today someone on WNBA Twitter, I don't even know where they got the idea from, where they found it from, but they looked up her political campaign donation.
Ooh, I saw that, and she donated a lot of money to Mitt Romney and Mitch McConnell. Yeah,
the conservative people who sound like they would make a comment like that.
Yeah,
so they've been eating her up all day. I mean, they really have been eating her up for like this whole event because like fans' biggest thing was, why didn't you just communicate that? Like, and it's also just like a bad look because maybe she didn't know. I don't know. But for our mayor to be a whole Chicago Sky season ticket holder,
mm-hmm.
that's terrible. And Arnie Duncan is huge in the basketball community with, you know, AAU and Mac Urban Fire. But just in his connection to, like, you know, they had a video from Michelle Obama, just like it could have been so much bigger when you think about just who would have done whatever they could have to support this. All those fans and flights are ridiculous. So all those fans that came out and had to book last minute because we just got it officially announced was it even 2 months ago? I don't even think it was 2 months ago.
I don't think so. I think we had word of it and it wasn't confirmed.
Right, it was rumors.
Yeah. We got really excited about it on this show.
Right.
And then everyone was like, it's not for real. It's not, we don't know about it yet.
Exactly. So for people to buy the tickets, buy the hotel room, get the flight, because honestly, if that had been maybe more clear, if I'm a fan, I'm just coming in for Sunday and I'm coming right back out.
Yeah.
So I just feel bad for them, because that definitely would have been sad and disappointing. But also just not announcing who's going to be there. Because I'm the type of person, y'all know me and my jerseys. If I'm going to go to an event like this, yes, you know, there are a ton of people you could see. But if you're actually putting on paper and a sign opportunity for me to meet a player, and I'm just now finding this out, and let's not act like you could just go get, like when I was in Boston and knew I was about to be at an event with Forbes, 30 under 30, and Kyrie Irving was there. Cool. I could just go hop in an Uber, go to the arena in Boston and get his jersey and come back and get it autographed. And that's what I did. But you can't even do that with all the Sky players. So you absolutely can't do that if Tamika Catchings, who was they're signing autographs, or Asia Wilson, you can't just go get their jersey in 24 hours. That's terrible. I feel bad for them, and I hope we get a redo, because people kept saying that it was not like this in Seattle, Minnesota, or Vegas.
Yeah, and flights are not cheap right now. No, it is a pretty penny to pretty much fly anywhere right now. So yeah, I think just the amount of money and time that a lot of these fans have invested in the league, like it.
Because who paid for them? I don't know how much Big Lotto charges, but I'm sure it's not whatever her appearance was when she was on the rap game. So where did you, is that where the 75 mil went to pay Chance and Big Lotto, and the fans couldn't even go? Because why would you do that?
Oof.
You could have, you and AT&T could have had them at their own virtual location and put it on the big screen like you had everybody watching everything else, if you were just going to do that.
Yeah, exactly. Or just like purchase a cameo and just like,
Hello.
project that on the screen.
You could have told them to record this and played it like a movie. Like,
Exactly. Oh my goodness. All right, so let's talk a little bit about the halftime show. So I saw your tweet. You were like,
somebody lied and said we didn't have a halftime show, and they tweeted like, if I was there, I would have been upset if there was no halftime show. Now, there are a lot of things that actually did or did not happen for people to be upset about, but don't sit here and be disrespectful and lie and say that we didn't have a halftime show, because I was actually excited that it was a halftime show that comes from the city, and it was the South Shore drill team. I was a little sad that there was, like, me, I would have also called the people, I would call Final Phase and had them in their footworking. Like, it was enough room for it to actually have been 2 halftime shows, including the Sky drumline, which I would have loved to see. Like, they could have done more, but there was one, and it was a sufficient one, and it was one that made sense. So whoever said that, delete that tweet. Because now y'all just lying and y'all trying to make us look bad. My other theory was that Kathy did not want it, and this is just a theory. My theory is that Kathy did not want it to be here, that she wanted it to stay in Vegas, which a lot of people are saying, and I really wish they would stop saying it, because to me it's just giving lazy. But she wanted it to stay in Vegas, and so then how do you get something to stay in Vegas? You move it to somewhere else, because that's where people are saying, no, you move it, and then you do what you can to sabotage it to make sure that it's not a good look. So then you go back to the table and show all the tweets, and you be like, see, I told you we should have had it stay in Vegas, and boom, next year it's going to stay in Vegas.
Yeah, just kind of setting an entire city up to fail is, I mean, that seems like a lot to do just to keep an all-star
Not
game.
really. It seems to be very easy. You just walk in April, sign whatever paperwork, tell them to do the best that you can. I was watching The Wire the other day, again, for like the millionth time, and there was something that they were trying to do to show that they had exhausted all of their options, which is very common when you're trying to go to the court. The court will always tell you to exhaust your other options without involving the court as a means to step in. So they were like, we're going to do this pursuit, or we're going to do this bust, and and we know we don't have enough information for it, and we know it's not going to be successful. And so then we can go and show them we did this, and this. It did not work. Here, judge, we need you to give us a warrant to tap these phones. And that's exactly what they did. So people do it all the time.
It's the whole due diligence type thing. Like, hey, like, we did X, Y, Z. Yeah. While not even revealing the other side of the coin. It reminds me of one of my favorite Simpsons quotes where Ned Flanders was like, we've tried nothing and we're all out of options. Oh my goodness. But yeah, other than that, to put a giant bow over this weekend, I know like some cool things happened, some not so cool things happened, but what would you say was your favorite, like, just moment from the entire weekend altogether?
So Together threw a party. When was that? Saturday. First of all, it was like 4 parties going on at once on Saturday, and I was only on the list for one of them. Maybe could have gotten in another one. Didn't know about a third. But it was just a great time. It was a great, like, everybody was in there. And it was actually going on so long that allegedly a player was like, I don't want it to end, because it was supposed to end at like 12. and it was about to be 12. And so I'm looking around, and you know how like when a party's about to end, you hear the party is about to end type music. At least at the parties I go to, it turns into like the slow songs, like the oldies, like the R&B that lets you know, okay, we're about to wrap up. And we weren't hearing that. We were hearing like, no, the party is still going on music. And then I ran into my friend who I didn't even know was curating the event. And they were like, yeah, so-and-so was like, they're having such a great time. They were like, I don't want the party to end. I'll just pay, like, send me the bill. I'll just pay for that, for an extra hour. And I was like, that is so cool. And they definitely stayed in there for like another hour. And it was fun. It was on a roof. It had like someone put the W logo on a building like across the street. It was just so cool. It was so fun. And then you just like looking through everyone's stories and everybody's like at all the different parties. It was just a really great time. And so I think at the very least, we still got to show people a great time. At least the players. Like they know that Chicago is fun. And everyone was like, oh, Chicago is so beautiful. It's so fun. So just to hear those good things really warmed my heart, even if it was more about the city and not, oh, the All-Star was great.
Yeah. I do remember seeing a couple of tweets from players saying that they really liked the city and they had a good time, and they were like, yeah, I'm going to have to come back here and you know, party some more.
I don't know why they say that. Y'all all come back here, goofies. Like, y'all play here. Where did y'all think y'all were this entire time? I mean, this is not like we're in Allstate Arena anymore where y'all were in Rosemont and people probably lied to you and you thought you were in Chicago and you weren't. But, like, you all stay right there.
Yeah, and then you find out you have to take the blue line into the city, like to even get anywhere.
Exactly, but they don't have that problem anymore. So
there you go. Yeah, problem solved. Yeah, it's good to be back in the city. Right. Cool. Anything else about the weekend or anything else on your mind?
Nope. I think that's it. I think we pretty much covered everything fairly. Too, might I add. Like, I don't think we were being unfair. I mean, obviously, I'm going to be a little biased because it's Chicago, and I take everything related to Chicago very seriously and very personally. But I just hope that, like, now would be a great time, honestly, for her to just be like, you know what? We messed up. We were planning for it to be somewhere else. We wanted to give a new, like, you can even spin it and say, we were going to do it in Vegas. And then someone said to me, Kathy, you should give Chicago a chance. And I was like, you know what, you're right. So we tried to do the best that we could starting from April. And we did you all a disservice. And so I'm going to announce right here today, July 11th, that we're coming back next year. Give us the dates and give everybody, all the brands, all the players, the league, the Sky, a fair chance to plan it and execute it. And then we'll all shut up and be happy. That's what I would like to see.
Yep, and have also a second trophy to show off as well.
A second trophy. They said that she got that trophy from Party City. And honestly, because like I said, because I'm like friends with a lot of people in the league and I never want to like, because WNBA Twitter can already be really ruthless. They are just really lucky that I am not into like a fashion police segment because a few people could have got arrested in a court of law today for some of those outfits on that orange carpet, and I need them to never do that again. And I need them to find some stylists, consult them, start planning a year in advance whether or not you're going to be an all-star. You can use that outfit again. You might get invited to the ESPYs or something, but don't do that.
Oh, we didn't even talk about the orange carpet. No.
Ooh, let's talk about it. Those outfits were terrible.
I don't want you to throw anyone under the rug, but say, were there any combos? Was there an outfit in particular you didn't like?
Okay, yeah. Okay, right. We'll do it this way. I won't say any names, and if you can resonate with what I'm saying, then it's a fact. And so then don't say nothing to me about it. Someone there was a Carrie Hilson impersonator in the year of 2022. And there was a thread on Twitter where someone's mom braided the outfits. And according to that person's mom, this individual looks like they left their going out clothes at home. They had to get their outfit out of the lost and found, and they had a spin class at 6. And I agree.
Wow.
That's exactly what that outfit looked like.
Oh my goodness.
She need not ever do that again. They said somebody looked like they were going to prom. Somebody else looked like they were going to the ranch. I will say shout out to Candace because she was cute.
She was. She had a nice little ensemble going.
And then I saw it had like the back guy. I said, okay, Candace, step in. Someone else looked like they were on their way to Bethlehem. Yeah, so the consensus was, and a few people looked like they were going on a job interview. Somebody else looked like they were just pulling up to the game or to the mall, the water tower. I don't know, but none of them looked like they were going to the same place, let alone in the same location with the same weather outside. So, someone said to me yesterday that the players have to buy in to get anybody else to buy anything. And I think this is a perfect example. If you don't treat your orange carpet like it's an orange carpet, just forget about the fact that you're going to end up getting roasted on Twitter. And that also doesn't help you all or the league, and it makes y'all look bad. Like, if you have some pride and y'all work with whoever to come out here and step, not only are you going to get more eyes, but people are going to take it seriously. And if you don't take it seriously, please don't get in front of all the media on the orange carpet and just tell them all willy-nilly unprovoked that you bought this at Nordstrom or Zara or whatever the morning of. I don't need to know that you didn't care about this. Or don't tell me that you forgot it was today and you already had walked out the house and you were like, well, I guess what I'm wearing is what I'm wearing.
Yeah, I'm looking at some of these fits, and I'm not particularly inspired by really any of them. I thought Kyle looked cute, though.
Oh, yeah. Very, very cute.
Yeah.
I like the pattern. My only thing, and it's not even just her, but it's like a similarity I noticed with like her and Erica's outfits. Adidas really likes soccer. And I think it's funny because all of my soccer stuff when I was in high school was Adidas.
Mm-hmm.
They need to start making some basketball outfits. And I'm just going to leave it at that. But not as far as another brand, because everything is not a look with a sports bra.
I'm gonna tell myself that as well. Yeah.
I mean, it's a time and a place for a sports bra, and the orange carpet is not that.
One of them. There we go.
It's not one of them.
All right. Well, that pretty much does it for today's show. Besides talking about orange carpet fits, a reminder that on CHGO, you got podcasts and live shows on every team every day, post-game shows, written content for members at allchgo.com, dope merch for all teams, a free shirt when you become a member, and also access to a members-only Discord called the CHGO Lounge. Anyway, definitely subscribe, sign up, do all that stuff. We would appreciate it if you did, and if you didn't, well, then whatever. But anyway, that does it for me. I'm Janice Scurio. You can follow me at Scurriosa, Scurriosa. I think that's how you spell my name. And Subria, where can folks follow you?
At Subria, Subria Whitaker, Whitaker.
All right, that does it for us, and we'll see you next week.